What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trading Decoded. It is December 4th, 2024, and it's 3:32 in the afternoon. We cut the room short today at 12 o'clock. Why? Well, for the same reason that I didn't even make a video yesterday. Friday, I didn't trade because I was out of town, but Friday's charting and charts were tough to trade. Monday, tough to trade. Tuesday, tough to trade. Wednesday, tough to trade. And this is not something that I'm saying it's tough to trade for myself. It's tough to trade for everybody. We have low volatility, low volume. You know, right now the charts are moving. But here's the thing, and this is not a video that we're going to discuss what trades we did or didn't take today, because I didn't suggest really any trades today. And I didn't take any trades yesterday. Today I took one trade. It was forced. I made a mistake. I lost $100. It's not a big deal. But that said, here's what I want to bring to your attention. So I came back from vacation on Friday, and everybody told me how tough it was to trade when we got back on Monday. Monday wasn't the cleanest chart. I remember taking two trades that day. Didn't meet my daily goal, but made $450. Tuesday, took no trades because it looked very similar to Monday, which was uncomfortable to trade, and I struggled to find a winning trade. So I skipped yesterday, which was very difficult for me. It's very difficult for day traders to take a hypothetical day off of trading. I'm aware of that. It's equally difficult for me as well. But, sorry about that. Mike is in the picture. But what I do want to tell you is that for those of you, even if you made money on Monday or Tuesday, I asked our community, did anybody actually feel good and comfortable about the trades that they did take on Monday and Tuesday? No, nobody said yes. They were happy to be green, obviously. But how many of those greens came from holding and hoping? How many of those greens came from people being extremely uncomfortable and essentially feel like they got lucky to get green? I don't know what the exact number is, but if that was you, understand that that feeling is not fun, right? I think we can all agree on that. Today, leading into the open, we can all hope that it's better than yesterday's chart or the day before's chart or Friday's chart. But when it's not, walk away. Walk away. The number of people in our community today and yesterday that said how shitty the chart was, yet here they are sitting in front of it, continuing to try and trade it, is mind-boggling to me. If you do not like or feel comfortable with what you're looking at, why are you getting into these trades? And the reason we're having this conversation is because today, again, yes, the chart ended up moving. I'm looking at it over here. In fact, we can open it up right here. Okay, chart's moving up. Everything's green now. This was not the case all day. Earlier, we were doing a lot of this shit right here. This sideways garbage. And when it looked like it was trending on SPY, it was going in the opposite direction on Qs. And vice versa. Then we went sideways for a while, staying in a very tight range. Then we had this drop, okay? So leading into lunch today around 12 o'clock, the win-loss ratio was basically even in our community at the time. And I made a point to the people in my room saying, hey guys, before we leave for the day, I want you to take a look at the win-loss ratio. Lock those numbers in your head. Now, there's going to be plenty of people out there that sit here through this entire chop fest. Maybe some already took trades and lost money and they're still here because they want to get back into a trade and turn that red day into green. Maybe somebody's not taking any trades today, so they're just going to sit here with their eyes glued to the chart as if all of this shitty price action that has led to the point where we actually get a move has not affected you in any way, shape, or form. You may have developed a put bias while we're hanging in up here, or a call bias. I don't know. I know that when I get this long sitting in front of a chart, if I hadn't done anything about it, I'm either really frustrated that I've been here wasting my time, waiting for something I don't know is going to happen. And that frustration causes me to force a trade, or I'm going to take a trade without there being a move or a reason to do it, and still put myself in a bad situation because the chart's not moving. Right? Now, the thing I wanted to bring up was, I was gone already for the day. Folks are still sitting here watching this, not taking any trades. We get a nice dump. Do you think our win rate actually, or it's now, we have more losses than wins in the community right now. Do you think that disparagement got better because we got this move down or this move up? The answer is no. The gap actually got a little bit wider. We now have more reds than we had before we went to lunch, after the chart started to move, than we have green. So the gap is widening. It's not getting better. Why do you think that is? Do you think that staying in this mess all day, waiting for something to happen, didn't create any sense of our lack of patience or a lack of discipline for you? Do you think that the people who lost money today and decided they were going to stay here and watch this chart, wait for a reason to take a trade to get them from red to green today, do you think that worked out for the majority? It doesn't. It doesn't. The first trade of the day that you take is usually the one that has the least amount of emotion baked into it. Why? Because you've done nothing to hurt yourself on the day. You've done nothing to upset yourself. You're awake, you're fresh, you got all of your buying power, everything's good. But the minute you take that first trade, win or lose, now there's emotion building up within your body. Good emotions or bad emotions. There's no trader out there that is trading emotionless. It doesn't exist. So when you go to take that second trade, despite your first one being green, okay, what do you tell yourself when you go into that trade? I know this is a chart I shouldn't be worth trading. It's not worth trading. I know I probably got lucky with the money I did make today, but I'm up. I got a cushion. I could take the risk. Who cares? Right? Have you done that? I know I've done that. You get a nice little cushion. You say, hey, even if I lose what I lost on my first trade, it's still like I didn't take any trades at all today. That's fine and dandy. So your first trade's a winning trade. Maybe it's not enough, so that's the reason you take another one. Maybe it came easy to you, so that's the reason you take another one. But when you go into that second trade, your mindset is not the same as it was after your first trade. You're excited, you got cushion, you're up on the day, blah, 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 blah. You'll tell yourself everything you want to hear to justify scratching that itch that is trading, right? So you take that second trade. You're either going to be green or red, okay? What if you're red? What if you allow yourself to trade away the money you made from the first one, even if it's back to break even? Do you think for a second that you're just going to put your shit away and walk away with a smile on your face? No, you're not. You're not. You know why? Because your brain's going to go back and say, wait a minute, I was just up $100 and now I'm not up anything. I really liked the way it felt having that extra $100 in my account. I want that back. And you're going to go and take a third trade. But now you're aiming for a number that you already had once. You gave it away because of emotions, and now those same emotions are going to stick you into another trade because you want that $100 back. But let me tell you something. If you don't get that $100 back, not only will you accept less, even if you make money, you will hold on to that trade while it goes against you, hoping for that money. Guys, that is why trading multiple times a day, usually doesn't generate more winning trades or more money in your bank account, your trading account. It's emotions. It's not your inability or your ability to read a chart. It's easy to read a chart. It's hard to act appropriately based on what you know and what you're seeing. Because emotions. Now, if your first trade of the day is red, we can't have a red day. I've got too many green days in a row. This would be the first red trade, and it's going to make my first green month ever red. I can't have that. I can't walk away. Well, now you're going to take your second trade for all the wrong reasons, right? Understandably. But do you think you're going into that second trade with a level head? With the right thing on your mind? No, you're not. You're going into it with a vengeance. You're going in saying, man, I only need to make up what I lost on my first trade, and then I could stay green for the month. I'll walk away. How many times have you said that to yourself? Same number of times you've gotten sick drinking too much tequila at a party while you're hunched over a toilet, puking your brains out. I'm never drinking tequila again. Oh, where's Jimmy? Oh, he's at the party. What's he doing? Taking shots of tequila. Because if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're going to keep making the same mistakes. Okay? What I'm trying to do with these videos and what I'm trying to do with the people in our community and what I'm going to be trying to do with the book that is going to be coming out at the end of this year is to teach you how to spot where your weaknesses are, how to avoid falling victim to those weaknesses, but more importantly, learning why you're doing what you're doing, even though it's hurting you. You have to understand how the human psychology works. It's great. Every strategy out there is a winning strategy if it's implemented properly. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a strategy, right? You have to implement it properly. You have to implement it with a clear mind. You have to do it without your emotions affecting your judgment, affecting your actions, hesitation, fear, pain. All of these things change a working strategy into a not working strategy. If computers were executing the strategy for you, you'd win more times than you'd lose. Why? Because the strategy statistically works out to be the case. But that's not the case for traders. Think about it. What makes the difference between somebody who becomes a successful trader and somebody who is yet to become a successful trader? It's not hard. I'm not saying it's not hard to be a successful trader. It's not hard to understand what the difference is. It's not my ability to read a chart better than you. It's the discipline and the patience that has become a part of the trader who has become successful. Because without those two things, you don't become successful at this. That's the only difference. The guy who's successful at it is doing more of the things that work and less of the things that don't. The guy who's still working towards becoming successful is doing more of the things that don't work and less of the things that do. And the only reason is it's not because you don't know what you're doing or about to do is the wrong thing. It's that you feel like what you're about to do is going to work even though you know it's likely not to. Okay? We self-sabotage ourselves constantly. That's why people think it's impossible to be consistent as a day trader. I disagree with that. Is it difficult? Yes. Why does it get more difficult as time goes on? Because you change as a person, as a trader. Whether you're scaling up because your confidence is high, whether you're taking bigger risks, whether you're holding to your trades longer, whatever the case is, you're changing, the market's not. The strategy's not. You change. And the sooner you can understand what's causing the change, you can also learn to avoid the change. How many people have scaled up because they found success trading smaller position sizes? I did. How many people ever scale back down even when they start to lose more money because of scaling up in the first place? Not as many as you think. Why? Because in our minds, we think, well, if we scale back, that's a form of failure. We don't want to feel like failures. Okay, so we never scale back. Instead, we'll stay at that uncomfortable position size and continue to lose because we're holding our losing trades too long because the scaled up position size, our pullbacks hurt too much. And we can't eat the pullback, so we're just going to hold it and hope it doesn't pull back more. This is not a business for everybody, but everybody has the capability of doing it. It's just whether you have the discipline or can develop the discipline and the patience. That's really the breaking point. That's why we insist that you start with single SPY contracts. Because for most people who are trading, that $40, $50, $60 contract isn't life-changing money. And if it is, you should not be trading at all. So if you can learn to be consistent with a small, comfortable position size, then why wouldn't the same situation be true when you scale up? The only thing that's changing is how much money you're putting into the trade. But with that comes added stress and more weight on your emotions. And that's why when people take the step, if you scale from one contract to 5, your brain, nothing is ready for the jump in the difference in numbers. The chart's still going to do the same thing. You might still be following the same strategy. You might currently be using a stop loss that's 20% or 10%, backwards. Well, 10% of $100 is a lot easier to swallow than 10% of $1,000. So even though it's still 10% pullback, when you're positioned too big and you're not ready for it, that bigger number, dollar-wise, is freaking you out. And you freeze. And when you freeze and it goes against you more, then the wheels fall off. Now, the whole point of this particular video is you can see there's not a single arrow on this chart. We have our call put lines. It was a pretty big range. We had our calls 606.27. We had our puts 605.48. Both of those actually worked out, but it wasn't comfortable enough to take it. Okay, 10 o'clock report pushed us down. We touched that support, bounced off of it, got back up to the top of the range, bounced off it, got back down to the support, closed below that line for the first time, and went down to the next line. Likewise, we get our first close above this call line. We hold it as support, and it chops its way up to the next resistance. Now, I also want to bring to your awareness, all three of these orange lines right here were just mathematically calculated. And look at how well it held as support and resistance. These were all-time highs over here on Qs and on SPY. All-time highs. Everything above these blue lines right here was all-time highs. We opened above all-time highs by a lot. Yesterday's gap is all the way down here at 517.15 on the Qs and 604.16 on SPY. That was all-time highs back there. We gapped way above it in pre-market today. Okay? What I want you guys to start to pay attention to, and I know I say this often, and for the people who are in my room that watch these videos, the number of people that have found better success than they had before are the ones that are taking fewer trades. It's not just the fact that you're taking fewer trades and therefore taking less emotional trades going forward throughout the day, but you're also being more patient, saying to yourself, man, I got one trade that I'm going to take today. Let me wait for a better setup. You see, if you go into the trading day saying to yourself, I got enough buying power to take 60 trades a day, do you think that you're going to incentivize yourself to be patient, knowing that if your first trade doesn't work out, you can quickly turn around and get into another one? No. Understand the psychology side of trading. The psychological side of trading. Understand how humans work. Look at it, apply it to your everyday things that you do. It doesn't even have to be regarding trading. Do you have a sweet tooth? If you do, you're probably not out there loading your house up with shit that's going to rot your teeth out and make you fat. Why? Because you know that you have a sweet tooth and you know if it's there, you're going to eat it. So you do your part subconsciously, or your wife or your husband does it for you. Says, man, I know Jimmy loves ice cream bars. I'm not going to pick those up when I'm at the grocery store. All right? You got to do the same thing in trading. If you know you're looking at a chart that you don't like, walk away from it. Otherwise, it's going to hurt you. Today was expensive on two fronts. Number one, it was time consuming and a waste of your time. Number two, if you did take trades, there's a high probability chance that you lost money today. So today's chart was taking your time and your money. And then when you spent all that time waiting for something to happen, it didn't produce either a move that you were willing to take with confidence, or perhaps you took it but in the wrong direction. I am not here to sell you on the idea that this comes easy. It does not. But I'm also here making these videos every day, trying to explain to you what we're looking for to take trades, what we're looking for to not take trades. Low volume, low volatility, ADD, Qs, and SPY not on the same page together, it's not a good trading day. Did this turn into a massive move to the upside? Yes, it's a beautiful thing. Market is melting up. You think people weren't holding calls here and said, we've not made it through that line once today. Let me hold on longer because that's one hell of an uptrend, and then ate a total shit sandwich because it rejected again like it had 7 times before? Of course somebody ate shit on that. Maybe somebody even bought puts here. You made money. Where'd you get out? Were you looking for a move to continue back down? Did anybody buy calls because we closed above that line? If you did, what were you aiming for? There's no targets up here. Know these things before you have to know. Meaning, plan every trade before it becomes a trade that you take. My initial plan today, and I failed to follow my plan. This is why it cost me some money. I told everybody today, in order for me to buy calls, not only do I want to be above the call line, but I want the Qs to be above this blue line. They're pre-market high. Those two things didn't happen until, let's see. So we closed above at 11 o'clock and Qs were above their blue line at 11 o'clock. So if I would have just waited patiently for that to be the case, for those two things to be true at the same time, I would have been able to make some money playing the call line. Wouldn't have been a lot. In fact, in the room, I told everybody at this time, I said, I'm taking a mental trade here to the upside. Okay. But I don't have any proven levels of resistance to aim for. So I'd be looking for my normal $100 per contract return. That's what I said. This move right here gave you a little more than $100 a contract. SPX, by the way, it's about 10%. Okay. That move right there gave you the ability for that. Now, if you hung in and said, hey, we got support there and we're holding support, I'll hold it until we get to the next line. Maybe you could have done that, made a little bit more money, right? But the point was, I was telling myself, don't take calls because of what we've seen thus far until both things are true on both charts. Okay. But I was already done for the day, so I didn't take those calls. Puts. Similar situation. I said, I want to see the Qs below 519.79 and I want SPY to be breaking the put line. Well, SPY didn't break that put line. I mean, it broke it at 10 o'clock, but we don't buy 10 o'clock candles because those are crazy. But after that, we didn't cross the put line again until a 10:13. Well, at that time, we didn't have Qs anywhere near that line of support. But like an idiot, I jumped in during this candle right here. During this candle, was it this one? Or was it? No. Was it that one? I'd have to go look. I have to go look. What, hold on. I have a trend line on the chart where I was going to do it. Oh, so yeah, it would have been 10:15. So it was this one. So on a normal day, okay, I would say this was any normal day. Today was not a normal day. I said we were breaking the uptrend, we closed below it, and we took out the most recent support. So that would have been my entry. Now, even though I got in on that, my exit, because it was a counter trend trade, would have been the first target low right here. I got into this trade almost at the bottom, right? So I was literally catching a falling knife. The Q support that we were expecting, to get out at was holding. So I stopped myself out of the trade when Q struggled to go lower. ADD was already going down at that time. I felt like I had a chance. I just executed too late because I wasn't ready for it because it wasn't crossing both lines that I wanted to see on both charts. So I just yeeted into that. Cost me $100. I was lacking patience. I was getting annoyed that the chart wasn't giving me anything to trade. I was getting emotional and I lost. Not big, but here we are, third trading day in the month. And I'm up a whopping $350. I mean, for me, that's pretty bad because normally I aim for $500 a day. So this month has started out a bit rough. Charts are a bit rough. If you recognize that early, do yourself a favor and walk away. Walk away. It's better for you, I promise. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. I'm sorry for the long video. I'm sorry for the rant, but sometimes you guys, we just need to hear these things, whether it's out loud, you saying it to yourself, or you're hearing me say it, or you're hearing somebody else say it. There's nobody out there that's going to tell you that today was a comfortable, good, easy day to trade. I'm not saying nobody out there made money. I'm just saying there was nothing clean about today's movement. Nothing. All right. So if you made it all the way through this video and you got any valuable information out of it, please like, share, and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. If you'd like to join our Discord community, well, we'd love to have you. There's a link down below. Come on in and see if we can help you make better choices when it comes to trading. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully tomorrow brings us a better day. And I hope some of you guys out there made some money today. If you did, let me know in the comments. If you didn't, I'm right there with you. All right. And so till tomorrow, I love you guys. See you. See you. See you. See you.